Hello and welcome to Just Vintage Crochet, and today we're going to be working a pattern out of this book that I got from one of you, a mystery sender, so to speak. The person who got this for me through a seller on Amazon, but did not leave their name. All I have is where I have the company name right there, Helping Hands Global, which is, I believe, a seller on Amazon, but I don't know which one of you sent it. So if you recognize you sent this book, please comment down below so that I can properly thank you. This is a very, very exciting book. I have honestly spent already a few hours just going through this book. And what this book is between the years 1885 and 1895, this Weldon's Practical Crochet, actually, it wasn't just practical crochet. This was actually just a section of the book, Weldon's Practical Crochet. These were full-blown, from this company, these were full-blown books full of knitting, embroidery, needlepoint, crochet, and so much more. And what this company here has done is gathered up just the crochet portions of all 19 publications that they came out with. So what we have here is a compilation of all the crochet from all 19 issues of this particular publication. And it's really, really great. Some of these we might recognize. For example, I found this pattern in this book. So here in the beginning, now this book here was made in 1975, but these patterns are from 1885 to 1895 publications of this publication here. But this book came out in 1974, not 1975. So you see, it says a republication of Weldon's Practical Crochet. Really, really neat. And here they give us a breakdown of what the terms of the articles of clothing and other things mean, as we don't really use a lot of this stuff, these words today. Here they break down the stitch terminology used in the book and the modern U.S. equivalent. Here they give us the types of wool that the book calls for, and what size modern yarn hook we need to use, and what size modern yarn we can easily replace it with. Isn't this wonderful? So I really, really appreciate this. I do hope, I mean, look at all the patterns I've already picked out for us to work, and that's just some of them, y'all. There's so many. So this is the one that I want to work on. I feel like this is perfect for summertime. It's so easy. If you know how to do a Tunisian crochet simple stitch, you can do this. If you don't know how to do a Tunisian crochet simple stitch, you're going to learn in this video because it's as easy as working a single crochet. It is really, truly that easy. Also, great news, because we are working, I already started working it up. Because we're working with small squares, you don't even have to have a Tunisian hook. I made up these two squares with just a 5mm crochet hook. Just make sure that it's like a Susan Bates or a boy that doesn't have a handle on it like this. We can't do the rubber handles if we're going to do it. It has to be just plain stick. Okay, I have to devote a video just to this book so we can really go through this book and I can get your guys' opinions in the comments. But this is the one I want to make. It's a sofa blanket and it's so easy. I really don't even have to go over the instructions with you. It's just that easy of a pattern. But let's just do a quick thumb through just because I can't help it. Look at that. A night dress sachet. Look at these edgings. Oh my goodness, so beautiful. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you guys something I found. Look at this. I don't know what point between 1885 and 1895 this came from, but does this not look like the water lily pattern that I made? That is so neat. Look at some of these edgings and stuff. Like, oh, this is a very, very exciting book. Look at this. I want to make this so bad. There's another one over here that I wanted to make too. Look at this tea cozy. How divine. Oh, I'm sorry if you guys were here just for the tutorial and didn't really want to watch me thumb through the book. You can absolutely fast forward. I can't help, look at this edging. I can't help it. When this book is open, I literally am distracted. Oh, look. From Engineering Knits, I found the pattern. So yeah, this is, and I'm skipping through chunks of this book. Like, there is so much in this book to go over. Look at this little dress. So, oh, look at that. It says a lady's hood. That's for a woman. Yeah, some simple shawls. Yeah, this book it's just absolutely full of so much wonderful stuff. They do go over some of the stitches, but these are all the same stitches you and I have gone over so many times in almost every video. Look at this whole like dress with hood. Oh my goodness. I can't wait. Okay. So we're going to make this. So let's get right into it. Okay, so you can grab your Tunisian hook, 5mm. I'm also using just a regular old Red Heart Simple Saver worsted weight yarn, 4-weight yarn. Very common. So grab your crochet hook that looks like this. You know, it's just something with a stick, or your Tunisian hook. Go ahead and make a long chain to weave in a good tail. Make a slip knot and chain 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll be right back. Okay, now we have our 17 chains. You will need to work in the back bumps with this. So go into the second back bump from the hook, and the name of the game with this pattern is going to be loose. Everything we're going to do is going to be done loosely. So you will pull up a loop and stop into the next back bump over, pull up a loop, and do this to every back bump. Collect all of your loops onto your hook. And I'm doing this loose. As you can see, I'm pulling up on each loop, giving myself some good looseness. It's gonna be needed. Because yes, Tunisian crochet curls, and this one is going to curl. Of course, by the end of the pattern, they'll straighten themselves out a bit, but it's going to be a lot easier on the material to straighten itself out if you work these stitches loose. So we're just collecting all of these loops here. And we're gonna have a total of 17, with the first one being 17, even though we skipped the first loop. In Tunisian crochet, the first loop on your hook is considered a stitch, unlike with regular crochet that we normally do. So I'm just collecting all these loops, and I just pull up my loop and kind of pull up on it a little bit to give my stitch that slack needed, just like that. Now with Tunisian crochet, if you're not familiar with it, it works like how a typewriter works. We don't turn our work at all. We just work forward, then backward, forward, backward. Now we're going to work backwards. So you will yarn over and pull through just the one first loop, just like that, just one loop. Then you will yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and you're going to continue to yarn over and pull through 2 stitches. We only pull through 1 on the first one. All the others we pull through 2 the entire way back. There we go. Pull through 2, pull through 2. Okay, and then we pull through the last 2, and there we go. Nice loose stitches. Now pull up on your loop quite a bit, about 1/2 inch. And we don't work into the first bar. We always work into the second bar from the very edge. And pull up a nice long loop matching the length of your first loop, because we want loose stitches. There we go. Loose stitches. And once you get used to Tunisian crochet, it goes by really, really fast. Like, I made all the squares I need for my sample just last night. Like, it was just that quick. Now, if I keep making squares and keep working on it, I'll have an entire throw blanket done in 2 days total. Like, it's really that fast and that easy. And I guess oh, here we go. This is an important part. So now, whenever we're working our last stitch, be sure to never work in these 2 last chains up here that are running along parallel. You always want to turn to the side and work through these last 2 stitches right here. You can see right here is where we're going to put our hook. When I first started learning how to do Tunisian crochet, nobody ever specifically pointed this out to me, and I used to always work my last stitch right here, and my work would always start to go this way, and I could never figure out why. So through my own trial and error was I able to figure out it's because you're supposed to be working through these 2 last stitches here that look like a single crochet off to the side. And it will be that way for the entire pattern. So remember, never these 2. Our hook goes right into this space right here. Let me move my thumb so you can see right where that is. Right here. And I'm squeezing them together right here. Okay? So let me pick up this loop. It's very important. So we go into the side, so you'll turn it to the side and go into these side loops right here and pull up your last loop. Now yarn over and pull through just 1. We always pull through just 1 on the return pass. Then we yarn over and pull through 2. Pull through 2, pull through 2. Really fun, really fast, and really, really easy. So you'll want to do this for a total of 12 rows. When you work your 12th row, come on back and I will show you how we will essentially bind off, but we won't cut. We're going to continue to work the square. We're just not going to cut, but we will bind off from our Tunisian stitches. So let's go over that one more time. Pull up the loop about 1/2 inch and just make sure every loop matches that height. Oops. And whenever the stitches are loose with Tunisian crochet, it works up so much faster. It's really, really nice. But you can see how fast you can actually get these done once you get the hang of it. It's super fast. And I will show you that last 2 stitches again now that we are on row 2. It might look a little different since now it's not right next to the knot. Again, we do not work in this section right here. Turn to the side and you see these? This is where we're going to work right here off to the side. Go right into there. Those are the loops that you want. Pull through just 1 and then pull through 2 all the way back. Very fast and very, very easy. This is our 3rd. Now, whenever I say work 12 rows, I'm glad I didn't cut off yet before I explain that. You know, every other row is going to be what I call the open row, which is what this looks like, your return pass. So that's not what I mean by don't work. What I mean is when you can see 12 of these rows here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, because 13 is going to be worked off is going to be created whenever we do our bind off. So you'll work your 12 rows, work your return pass to where you have it open like this. And then whenever we bind off, it will create that 13th row. I feel like I just confused you guys. So I will come back whenever I have my, what appears to be 12 rows. I guess you could almost say it's like 24 rows. But basically, whenever you can see 12 of these filled in rows. When you can count 12 of these, come back. Okay. So here I have 12 of these rows that we can see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now, whenever we go to bind off in this open row here, that's going to create row number 13 that we need. And these measure out to 5.5 inches by 5.5 inches. There we go. Well, there we go. 5.5 inches by 5.5 inch squares. So now we're going to bind off, but we're not going to cut. So again, working a bit loose, going into the second bar like we have been, work a slip stitch. And into the next one and work a slip stitch. And as you can see, I'm working them fairly loose. So you're just going to work a slip stitch in every bar all the way to the end. But again, don't cut. But now you can see what it's doing. It's filling in. It's when we create the slip stitch, it's pushing these top stitches here down into this open work area. And it's creating our 13th row. See there? Actually, it looks like it's pushing it down, but what we're really doing is we're pulling these up, and that's how that works. See? And it's filling it in. And you can see the difference there. Okay. Let's just finish this part up. And we're going to work some more slip stitches all the way around. And the pattern, it says to keep the number of slip stitches equal numbers on all 4 sides. So the thing is, we started off with 17 stitches and we have 13 rows. What we want to accomplish is 14 slip stitches all the way around. It's not going to be hard. Okay, now that area there that I kept telling you we're not going to work into, now we are. Work one more slip stitch right there. Chain 1, turn, and work a slip stitch into that same space we just worked into. Okay, that's 1. Now work a slip stitch right here. Oops. That's 2. Now work 1 into all these stitches here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Chain 1, and we're going to work 14 stitches across this way. We're going to have to reduce 2 of those stitches to make it 14. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we're going to work a slip stitch decrease into the next stitch and into the next stitch over, and slip stitch through everything. Now that's 6. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, now that we have finished the 10th one, we're going to reduce for number 11, or decrease for number 11, sorry. That's 11, 12, 13, 14. 12, and 13 and 14. Chain 1. Okay, now working on this side, for some reason, I always only have 13 going this way. So when I get down to the end of this row here, because this is the bottom of our square, we had to decrease 2 stitches to make it 14. So now working up this way, I don't have 14 available stitches, I only have 13, but I'm going to show you how I'm going to turn that into 14. So I'll be right back when I get down to this point. Okay, so worked my way down to the end, and this is my 13th stitch right here. So what I'm going to do is, in our first stitch of the row going this way, I'm going to use that stitch twice so that I can create my 14th stitch. So here is my 14th stitch, slip knot, or slip stitch, sorry. Then I'm going to chain 1, and into that same stitch, now going this way, I'll work my first stitch. There we go. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now I'm going to decrease for stitch number 6. Okay, that's 6. Then 7, 8, 9, and 10. And I'm going to decrease for stitch number 11. Now we have 12 and 13 and 14. Now we can cut. And I'm just going to go ahead and just to make my knot right here. Yeah. Okay, and that is our square. And it looks like it's going, like it's longer this way. That's just because of the optical illusion from the lines. It is 5.5 by 5.5. So if I turn it this way, let's see, it looks right. It's just curled. But anyways, so do that, as many squares as you want, and weave in your ends. I'll show you how I weave in my ends on this one. So you'll see that we have these stitches right here on the back. That's what I weave my ends into. Very, very easy. And I'll do that on both sides. And that's why I like to have a nice long tail. So I have plenty of weave in ability to go back and forth, not just to go one direction. But we'll go this way. Then I'll pick up the stitch back here and come forward. And then go one more time to really lock it in. And there we go. And I'll, oops, I lost my tail. Anyways, I'll do that on both ends. Then I'll show you how we put the open work around the edge, which is what we're going to use to sew our panels together, because yes, we will be making panels. Now the colors that they called for in the pattern is blue and fawn. I would have loved to have used those colors, but those are not, the blue is not camera friendly. So I went with this like steely gray and this dusty pink, and I like the way these colors look together. Okay, let's work on this part now. Okay, so grab your square and any corner that you have, go ahead and join your accent color. Work a single crochet, chain 4, single crochet into the same stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, single crochet. Now chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and work a single crochet into the 4th. And repeat, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this pattern doesn't have a clue how many stitches you're going to have all the way around. As you know, these patterns never really specify that stuff. Let's see here. So in the pattern, it says to work it says single crochet, but this is Victorian UK pattern, so this is a slip stitch. So it says then do a row of slip stitch all around the square, the same number of stitches on each side. Then we get into the open border. So it doesn't know how many stitches we as the makers are actually working all the way around. We worked 14. It could have been any number. So they are telling us to work a single crochet plus chain 4, skip 3, single crochet, chain 4. But I found that I only have about 3 stitches left on the end, and that's fine because all the times I've shown you this, could you tell? Can you tell at all that I only skipped 3 or only skipped 2 on each end? No. So it's fine. It's fine. Nobody's gonna know. So now we skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and work a single crochet. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, skip 3, 1, 2, 3, work a single crochet. And as you can see, I only have 3 stitches left. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to work them into this chain 1 right here. I'm going to work this into the chain 1. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and into that same chain 1 space. Work a single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and in the 4th stitch. So you get it now. Just work this all the way around. Come on back whenever you're ready for round 2 of the chain work. There's only 2 rounds on the chain work, and that's it. Okay, now we are ready for round 2 of our open work. I know before I said chain work, I meant to say open work. So when you get back down to the end here, you have your chain 4, just slip stitch into your starting single crochet at the base of your first chain 4. Now slip stitch into your first chain and work a single crochet. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and work another single crochet. This is what we are looking for. And then repeat 1, 2, 3, 4 into the loop, work a single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the loop. And this is going to be the repeat all the way around. Whenever you get to a corner, you're just going to work the corner like you did down here with a single crochet, chain 4, single crochet, all into the same corner. Then whenever you get all the way back around to the beginning, you will just slip stitch into your starting single crochet at the base of your starting chain 4, cut and weave in your ends, and then come on back. Okay, all done with both of the open work rows. Now I'm doing a little bit of nighttime filming, so it might be a little bit darker, and I apologize for that. Okay, so I already have these 2 here attached. Now with this blanket, we will be making columns or panels that we will then sew together. Here I have, like I said, I made all of these last night except for this one I made here with you. These work up so stinking fast. So here, let me see if I can pan out a little more. What we're going to do is make strips that we are then going to sew together. Well, we're going to weave them together in a way. You'll see. So yeah, that's how this one works. In case you might be familiar with panel blankets, this is like a panel or strip blanket. All right, so getting into how to do this part right here, very easy, very, very easy. So you're going to start on a corner of a square on this side. You're going to join this side to this side. So you always want to start with the outer portion. And yes, this does make for a lot of tails because you have to sew these together one at a time before you can sew your columns together. That's okay though. It's not that big a deal. Okay, go right into your corner space, chain 4 space, join with that same accent color. chain 1, work a single crochet, and then chain 2. Into the next corner over, single crochet, chain 2. Now we're going to be working from here to here to here to here. Okay, that's how it's going to work all the way down. So we have our chain 2, we come over here and we work a single crochet. Chain 2, jump over to the other side, work our single crochet. Chain 2, jump over to the other side, and as if, picture like lacing up shoes. It's like that, you know, you just go each hole one at a time, but then you always move up one for the next. Chain 2, and then the next side, single crochet. Okay, so that's the way it's going to be all the way to the end. Chain 2, and you can even do this. It's a lot easier to do it this way. Chain 2, come over to the next one up, chain 2, come back and the next one up, chain 2, go across and to the next one up, chain 2, back and to the next one up, single crochet, chain 2, into your corner, single crochet, chain 2, and into this last corner, just work a slip stitch and then cut. I'll show you where I will weave in the ends on this portion, just because I think it might be helpful. So I like to weave in the ends in this section right here where these joining stitches are, because I like to work under those stitches. So I will work my way down there, just picking up stitches. And we'll go right under these right here. On the corner is where I'm at. See how we have that single crochet, chain 4 single crochet? We're working underneath those single crochets on the corner. It's just a good spot to tuck away our tail. Right there. Just go back and forth 2 or 3 or 4 times. It's a good little spot to hide things. There we go. That should be enough. And I'll do the same on the other side. And whenever you look at the front, you can't even tell. So now let's join our panels. Also, something I want you to pay close attention to is your striping. Do you want your stripes to go ones that are going this way, the other one's going that way? Make sure that you keep it that way. Or if you want them to all go the same direction like I do. I want them to all go the same direction. So now, let me pan out. Now we're going to join our 2 panels. So let's turn everything this way and start exactly like we did before. It's not going to be any different. It's just working longer. That's all. Okay, so we join our accent color with a single crochet. So slip stitch, single crochet, chain 2, and we do exactly what we did before. Chain 2. I'll move it this way just because I prefer to work this style. And we jump over to the very first space, and here we go. Chain 2, come back, chain 2, go across and up 1, come back and up 1, go across and up 1. Very, very easy. Okay, now we are coming up to our crossroads. And we don't want certain portions to look too bulky, like our corners. We don't want them to look too bulky. So I'm going to work my regular space, chain 2, come back, work this regular space, chain 2. Now I'm going to jump over this whole corner and pretty much just ignore it and go into the next larger space after it. Chain 2, get some yarn. Again, I'm going to jump right over the corner and ignore it and go into the space just on the other side of it and work there instead. Chain 2. Again, I'm going to skip over the corner and go right into the space because those corners are basically already worked. We don't want to overdo them. And chain 2. And I'm going to skip over this corner. Here, maybe I'm not making it easy to see. There we go. I'm going to skip right over the corner and into the space after it. I'll work my next stitch. Now let me work up a couple of these so you can see how that works out. Chain 2. Here we go. And chain 2. And so here we go, working up that way, avoiding the corners. It just helps to keep it from looking too chunky and bulky in those crossroad sections. So we chain 2 and we just keep going. So I'm going to finish this all the way to the end and then I will come back and show you how it looks as a completed piece. So now in the pattern here at the end, they talk about the engraving. Basically the photo that you see here, they're talking about how they have their lines going up and then to the side, up and to the side, and up and to the side. They also talk about how you could do the fawn and the blue every other square, and you can coordinate your fringe to match every other square. So like they would have a fawn square, but a blue fringe. And the fringe is pretty simple, you know, just as far as the fringe goes. I think most of us know how to do fringe. If not, there's a lot of videos on YouTube that teach how to do fringe. I've taught how to do fringe a few times. So I think we know how to do fringe. So you'll just add your fringe in all of your chain 4 loops and all of your corners. Super easy. And you can do the fringe any way you want. You can do the squares any way you want. Like they had talked about in the pattern, you can change up the colors. You can change up the directions of your tricot because that's the name of the stitch back then. Today we call it a simple Tunisian. So you can change up the way your Tunisian lines go, this way or that way. Yeah. And I like it. And I think it's cute and it's summery and it's light and it's fun. I like it a lot. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. I will see you guys in the next tutorial. Love you lots. Bye.